If you don't think male privilege exists, you are wrong.
And you want to know something? I actually agree with him. I think there's a lot of great things about being a man, but they oftentimes take the form of a double-edged sword. But you know what else I find interesting, though? I find it very interesting how there's hardly ever any talk about female privilege. But a lot of people always like to discuss male privilege.
Bias is often ignored because it seems invisible and subjective to those who benefit from it. But
Yeah, you know what? I think I might agree with this. I think I agree with this statement that Lacey just made. I mean, you ever notice how women don't constantly talk about how amazing it is to be women? It's like I've never seen a woman ever talk about how amazing it is to be a woman. But I'll be damned if I never heard anyone talk about how many privileges men have. So yeah, I think Lacey might have a point here.
trans men have experienced both sides of the gender-divided society, so I'm gonna let them explain male privilege in their own words.
Male privilege is the bullshit idea that men are better than anybody else.
I don't know what to say to that. I really don't. I don't have a snarky reply to something that's so totally fucking asinine. You really think men just kind of walk around all sad and depressed, you know? Some fucking skinny dweeb gets shoved into a locker and he just sits in there and it's just like, oh man, my life sucks. I get bullied every day, but at least I'm not a woman, so
Male privilege is the ability to move about the world in the way that you want to.
I thought that was a privilege of being free. I thought that was a free society privilege. You're telling me that women in a free society don't have the ability to move around in the way in which they choose? Short shorts, anyone? Short skirts, they don't exist. Sundresses, no. Women don't have a myriad of selection. Skinny jeans, baggy jeans, of which they could dress themselves to appear in any particular way they want. Nope. No. See, they just don't.
It's the experience of being left alone and free to be yourself.
You know, that's interesting. That's interesting. I realized that I had that privilege. You know, people would leave me alone. I was tall, black guy, huge afro. My beard was usually in the past scraggly and all puffed out. And people, well enough, they left me the fuck alone. But remember that whole double-edged sword thing I was talking about earlier? Well, in the sense that people left me alone, people also didn't talk to me. And it was lonely. In fact, there were many lonely periods in my life where I didn't have very many friends or very many people to talk to. So yes, I get left alone. But, see, I also get left alone. And I can't honestly say that loneliness is quite a privilege, especially when you're desperate to have someone care about you.
Privilege is also like the absence of experience. As a man, I have the privilege of getting on New York City subway train at 1 in the morning and don't have to worry about a man wagging his dick at me.
Well, assuming that the man isn't gay.
That is a male privilege that I like.
The first time I noticed I had male privilege was when I was walking home from hanging out with a bunch of friends who happened to be women. They had expressed being a little worried about walking home in the dark, and while I was walking, I realized that I had no worry in the world about being talked to or stared at or followed or assaulted.
So,
No. I also had an experience like that too when I was in college. I mean, I had always vaguely thought about being a small, fragile woman, but it wasn't until I was actually with this one girl that's my friend in college. You know, and we were walking from Chick-fil-A back to the dorm rooms, and she looked, we were coming around the corner, and she looked left, and she looked right, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, you know, I gotta check my surroundings, you know, make sure, you know, everything's fine, everything's safe. And it really dawned on me right then. I was like, wow, damn, this is fucking great. I've never had to think about or worry about, you know, people, you know, attacking me or anything like that. And in that moment, she didn't either, because I was there, you know, and I thought it was nice. I thought it was interesting, and I really, it felt that, yeah, perhaps that is a male privilege, and I will accept that. I will accept that most men don't think about people attacking them randomly. However, in terms of, like, actual reality, men get robbed and get attacked a lot more than women do. So maybe men might not think about it or fear it as much as women do, but in terms of it actually happening, it happens to men more. So I don't really even know if that's a male privilege on account of reality dictating that men get attacked more often than women do. or at least they get robbed more often than women do. That's weird. That's strange.
A man could just walk down the street and no one is going to bother him. No one's going to ask him to smile. No one's going to ask him where he's going. No one's going to ask him if he's married. No one's going to ask him if they can walk with him. But this is something that I know women experience every day.
You know, all of those things you just named out were totally benign things that I've never even considered to be a problem or bad. In fact, I remember one time, I was getting the same college experience. It's nothing, but I'll just explain it. And I was walking back from, I think the control office, going back, probably go get something to eat. And I heard someone sneeze behind me, but it sounded like a little dog toy, you know, like a little squeaky toy. Like, I can't even fucking replicate it. But you guys know what I'm talking about, you know, it sounded like a little squeaky toy. So I turned around and I saw this one cute girl behind me. I was like, I just spoke out loud. I was like, I thought it was a dog chew toy. Okay, alright. And then she says, no, I'm not a dog. I was like, no, I'm not saying that you were a dog. I was just, you know, it just sounded like it was one. You know, and I just chatted with her. And I chatted with her for a little bit as we walked by. She matched her speed to mine to have a conversation with me. And then we left. We went our separate ways. I was like, alright, see you later. She said, bye. And we walked away. And that's what happened. Had a random conversation with some cute girl I never saw again. And it's never bothered me. I never once look at that situation to be like, oh my gosh, some woman said some words to me. But I guess then again, it doesn't happen to me very often. Double-edged sword.
Post transition life, my God, walking down the street is so glorious. I can actually think.
You know, you might look like a man now, but up here, you're still all woman. I mean, are you seriously humble bragging right now? And here's something that I find to be completely unrealistic, right? Like, I mean, you seriously expect me to believe that when you walk down the street, people are saying so many things to you that you can't think about anything? What are you even doing walking down? What are you doing? Doing complex equations? Oh, so let me just carry the m's over here, a square. Let me put the square root of this. Carry the 2. Hey, baby! Nigga! I am trying to do some complex mathematical equations here. Leave me the fuck. Yeah, fucking right. That's your experience. Like, what are you trying to crack the Da Vinci Code on your way to work? It's like, no, you're not thinking that complexly walking down the street. And I don't believe that happened to you that many times. Whether you're a cute woman or mildly attractive, I don't believe that so many people said things to you that you couldn't think. I'm just saying, you know, and of course you're probably over-exaggerating to be funny, but it just bothers me, this humble bragging that so many women do. It's just, stop it. You're not getting catcalled that much. Goodness gracious.
First time I ever experienced male privilege was on social media. I've always been the type to express myself and talk real crazy. And when I did it prior to transition, it wasn't okay. But the minute that I transitioned and everybody looked at me as that male figure, it was like, oh man, that's hilarious. I'm like, hey guy, I've been hilarious all this time. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. I don't. I do not believe that the moment you became a man, your opinions became valid. That's a crock of bullshit. Hell, I mean, just give you an example of what happened to me on Facebook. I remember there was a Facebook post about some liberal talking about abortions, and I just stated my opinion. I stated my case, and some woman came on there, and she was like, you're a man. You shouldn't have an opinion about an abortion. And I'm like, is that fucking right? So if I got a woman pregnant, and she's about to have my child, right? And she's like, no, I'm gonna get an abortion. You can't say anything about it. She goes off and she kills my child. I can't have any opinion about that. That's male privilege. That's fucking male privilege is not being able to do anything about my child being fucking killed because the mother didn't want him. That's male privilege. No, male privilege is not having an opinion about that. I can't even have an opinion about a woman killing my child and me not doing anything about that. That's fucking male privilege. Okay, I'm just wondering. I'm just asking, you know, since apparently in your experience you just said something and everyone just accepted it now because you have a penis now, so your opinion's just valid. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, dude. That never happened to you. I don't believe you. Numerous times I have talked about the subject matter of feminism and have been just straight dismissed as a misogynist, as a bitter person, for expressing whatever opinion I was made. Completely dismissed for it. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Yeah, I agree with that.
An unexpected aspect of male privilege for me was being taken way more seriously than I was before, and it's funny because I have all the same ideas, still thinking about the same things, and yet sometimes I would literally just be talked over or laughed at. Now people will often quiet down.
I don't believe you. If anything, people quiet down because you're trans, not because you're a man. I've been a man my whole life. Never got that shit. In fact, interestingly enough, the thing that really made people listen to what you have to say is when you're usually quiet. That's what I've noticed in my experience. When you're the individual who stops and listens and rarely speaks, that's the moment when people want to hear what you have to say. As far as being a man goes, I've seen numerous men be completely dismissed and be laughed at for having opinions. This bullcrap here that you just, got a penis, just got some testosterone, and everyone was just like, what did he say? What? We have to stop talking. Let's listen to him. Yeah, right, that happened. And of course I'm over-exaggerating, but I don't believe that everyone just started listening to what you had to say. I mean, look at my YouTube channel, man. Again, called a misogynist numerous times. Why? Because I said young ladies should respect the dress code and just dress like a normal person. Dismissed. Women should maybe think about men's relation to abortion. I'm not allowed to have an opinion about that. Dismissed. Numerous times. Hell, I mean, there have been times way back when, it hasn't happened recently, I would just mention the word God. Dismissed. Being a man didn't protect me from being dismissed. Say maybe women should think complexly about the men they're having sex with. Misogynist. Dismissed. Yeah, I'm not privileged. Maybe I'm not man. I don't know. Where do I get my man card? Where do I get my privilege card that allows people to listen and take me more seriously? Because that shit doesn't happen. Get out of here with that.
Having experienced that from both sides of the spectrum, as female and male, I call bullshit on that right now.
I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to. Are you calling bullshit on the fact that this happened, or bullshit on the fact that people do it? Because I think you're on some other shit. I really do. I don't think you guys know what you're talking about. I'm just saying.
Male privilege and sexism isn't just a problem for women, but it's also about liberating ourselves. Masculinity is very diverse. Masculinity is what it is to you.
Yeah, no, that's not how words work. A word that means anything means nothing. If you can make masculinity as to be so subjective and that it contradicts what any other man thinks, then it's lost all meaning as a word and as a concept.
You don't have to be a brute. You don't have to be an athlete. And my masculinity looks like a man who likes puppies and babies.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with liking puppies and babies. Whoever says that is on some other shit. Oh, you know what I find to be really interesting? Most of the people who stereotype men as brutes who lack the capacity of human emotion are what are those people? Starts with a W, or starts with an F. You know, the other gender, the other one. Those are the people who oftentimes stereotype men as lacking the capacity for human emotion. Those people. Who am I referring to? I don't know. I don't know who I'm referring to. I don't know.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I was in the club this night and my brothers are around. I think it might have been Single Ladies. Something came on. And I'm like, oh, the Single Ladies. Oh, the Single. And they go, you're a man now. Men don't wild out to Beyonce like that. And I said, but it's music.
Yeah, but it's also a song about being a single lady. To respect you, you're not a single lady. I don't know if you're single, but apparently you're not a lady. So, and also it's pretty feminine and effeminate. And when it comes to dating women, you don't want to be feminine. Or maybe you do. Maybe you don't want to date women. Maybe you're gay. And if that's the case, then okay, whatever.
No one way to be a man. There's a spectrum of masculinity, and just like, be chill.
If a guy wants to really understand male privilege and understand what it is, talk to women.
Step back, listen to what other people are going through, ask them what they're going through, and I think you'll see that the world doesn't run exactly the way you think it does.
You're doing nothing wrong by having privilege. It's just what you do with it that matters.
Now, the thing that I've oftentimes find to be particularly interesting about feminists or people more on the left-leaning side of the political spectrum is they always chat about male privilege, as if being a man is this great and awesome experience and we don't have trials and tribulations. And being a man just makes life easier, which is totally asinine when you think about it. I will say, though, that I do think that there are some perks to being a man. I do think that there are some great things about being a man. And one of those things that I would say that's great about being a man is you are forced to learn how to deal with shit. It's make it or break it. I mean, maybe not all men obtain this mental fortitude, but as a man, you're more than likely going to have to learn how to deal with shit from people. And I think that that is one awesome thing about being a man. That when you finally learn how to master your emotions and master the perceptions people have from you, words will no longer bother you. You will be able to be strong enough in your opinions and your beliefs to challenge anyone and anything. And it's amazing. Now that being said, that being one great privilege I think about being a man, I find it absolutely amazing, sometimes astounding even, that there aren't very many people who sit around talking about all the privileges that come from being a woman. They always gotta make women out to be a victim. Something's always horrible about being a woman is just this awful, terrible experience. Never mind the fact that you don't have to worry about being lonely if you're attractive. And hell, even if you're mildly attractive, you know, you just, as long as you're not just some completely fucking weirdo, weeaboo young lady that just doesn't know how to hold a conversation, you won't have to worry about making friends. Making friends as a woman is a hell of a lot easier than as a man. Dating as a woman is much easier as a man. Hell, half the time you're not even expected, probably more, 3/4 of the time, you're not even expected to pay for your own food. You get free food, all for doing what? Nothing. For just sitting there and having a conversation. You can expect people to just give you shit. I just talked about food, just give you things. I mean, there are some women, right, who will fucking get on Twitter, be fucking webcam models, put on a wish list on their Twitter, hey, buy me this shit, and guys will do it. They'll just buy them stuff. Women, you can just get on camera, fucking take your clothes off and masturbate. Fucking people, they love it. No one talks about how female models get paid, what, probably 70% more than male models? Nope, not a word. And hell, even to think about being catcalled and whatnot. I mean, imagine if you're a woman that actually enjoys being catcalled and enjoys having men walk up and talk to you. That's a privilege. That's not something men get. And again, how about this? Here's one that's more practical in application. When a woman sits there and cries, people react. People care. People want to do something. When a woman gets attacked, men want to protect her. If a man gets attacked, people try to see what the fuck's going on. They just let it happen. But not as a woman. When you're a woman, people want to keep you safe. And it's amazing. You get all of those things from just having a vagina. And yet, all of these feminists want to focus on all the horrible, terrible things about being a woman as if it's the worst thing in the fucking world. When it's not. So I guess the end of the video is this. Men and women are different. We have different experiences in life. One isn't better than the other. It's fucking different. And all you feminists out there should stop pretending that being a man is just a fucking cakewalk. Like you got the star power in Super Mario and anything you touch moves out the way. Bullshit. Because when you're a man, you seem to forget that we also have to deal with other men. And that's not always an easy thing to do. I'm just fucking saying. Goodness gracious. So with that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys got something out of today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. Yeah, shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. And I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.